Welcome to the I'm getting my car ready for a track day video, part one. If you looked at our last video, we put together a to-do list. Things to do before you come to the track. Check tires, brakes, fluids, engine, suspension. I just did the fluids, so I scratched it off my to-do list. I'm going to go through that with you today to show you how easy it is to check fluids in your vehicle before you bring it out to the track. No special tools required. You can do it. As you can tell, I'm in my garage, so you can do it in your garage. You don't have to take it to a mechanic unless you want to. You can do it in the parking lot of your apartment building, just about any place. So, let's get started on checking some fluids. Oh, a couple of disclaimers here before we get started. I'm not a mechanic, nowhere near a mechanic's level. So don't feel as though you have to be a certified mechanic in order to pull this thing off. It's very easy to check fluids, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Second thing is the fluids that we're using, continue to use the ones that you've used in the past. No need to go out and buy special brake fluids. No need to get 50 weight racing oil, that type of thing. No. The important thing is that you're checking them and that you're bringing them up to the proper levels before you get to the track. All right. Let's get started. Before we pop the hood of the car, I jumped into the passenger side here, or what we like to call the instructor seat, to take a look in the glove box. Glove box. That is a kind of a funny little term. I'm not sure where it came from. I know when I was a kid growing up in Wisconsin, my parents never kept gloves in their glove box. What they did keep in their glove box was napkins from the local fast food place, and also maps in case you needed to find your way home, or you're on a road trip someplace. You always had to have a map. So I guess that is true that you kind of turn into your parents as you get older. Keep my maps in there just in case the battery goes dead in my cell phone. What I wanted to show you though was the owner's manual. A lot of people do not even know where this is or what it's good for. There's a ton of information in this book. The beginning of it has to do with how you operate the different things in your car, and believe me, there's more gauges and gauges and buttons and bells and whistles on most vehicles now that you need to learn how to even turn the radio on. The important thing is, though, is in the back part of this owner's manual, there's all kinds of information as far as the things that we're going to be looking at today, such as fluids. It's going to, in fact, here it tells you this particular vehicle should use a 0W20 weight oil through all temperature ranges. So it kind of gives you an idea of what you should be using. Same with coolant. It's going to tell you what type of coolant you should be using. It's also going to be telling you what type of transmission fluid. Just a lot of information that's in the owner's manual. So along with your napkins and your maps, keep your owner's manual in your glove box. Okay, I'm over on the business side of the vehicle now. I'm going to show you how to pop the hood. I know everybody knows how to do this, but you can use this part of the video to teach your kids or your significant other or grandparents or grandkids or where this is. It's done by the kick panel, of course. It's just a matter of grabbing that handle, pulling that out, and opening it up. I'm going to pop the fuel door at the same time because I want to talk to you a little bit about fuel later on. Windshield washer fluid is pretty easy. Pop the top, fill it up. No need for a funnel or anything to give you a big enough opening to put it in. Just make sure that you top it off. You may need it out on the track actually. We will run rain or shine. So if your windshield gets dirty when you're out on the track, during your session out on the track, you may need to use your windshield washer fluid. So just make sure that you have enough and that it's up to capacity. When you do this at the same time, it's nice just to check your actual windshield wipers themselves. Take a look at them, rub your hand down alongside of them, see if they're nice and smooth. Eliminate streaks and that thing. You don't want to be out on the track following somebody with a lot of mist and everything and have that streaky windshield. All right, let's check coolant. Coolant is a visual inspection. Down alongside of the reservoir, there's some minimum and maximum lines on here, so you want to make sure you're up to the max. Coolant different types of coolant that are out there. Make sure you get the coolant that's designated for your vehicle. If in doubt, grab that owner's manual, take a look in there, and I'll tell you what it is. This particular brand is guaranteed for all vehicles, so it's safe in just about any vehicle that you want to put it into. Like I said, it's a visual inspection. To be on the safe side, I always take a rag, put down on top of there, turn it. Easier said than done sometimes. And if you need to add coolant, it just pours into the top. Radiator cap goes back on, coolant cap goes back on, and you should be good to go. Next up is oil. Everybody knows how to check the oil. Dipstick, pull it out, wipe it off, put it back in, pull it out, and take a look at it. A couple things to look at though. What's the what does it look like? Is it kind of dirty? Are you pretty close to an oil change, or is it nice and clean? The other thing I want you to do is, if you are a little bit low on oil, by all means top it off. If you're driving out on the street, yeah, it's okay to be a quarter or maybe a half a quart low, and you're still going to be okay. You're not going to damage your engine any by doing that, but you may on the track. And the reason is the oil pickup in your oil pan, no matter where it's located, front, back, or on the sides, may get starved of oil if you're a little bit low on oil, due to the fact that you're doing a lot of braking and accelerating, back and forth, of course, left and right hand turns. So you're moving that oil around in that oil pan. So when in doubt, top it off. Easy, of course, to put oil in. And in this particular vehicle, it actually is giving you the information as far as what type of oil you should be using. So in this case, it's 0W20 weight. All temperature ranges is that same weight oil. When in doubt, and if you're not sure again, grab that owner's manual. It's going to be in that owner's manual to tell you where you need, what type of oil you need to go to put in. If you're adding oil and you're at the track, don't have a funnel, I will guarantee you that you're not going to be able to hit the oil filler area on your engine if you're putting oil in. I don't care if you're doing it with the top of the spout up, if the spout is on the bottom, if it's on the side. Here's a little tip I do. I'll actually just grab a pop bottle or any plastic bottle, cut the top off. Now I've got an instant funnel, goes down in, doesn't matter which way you pour. My question for you guys though, put it in the comments section. I believe the proper way to pour out of the configuration of this oil is with the top or with the spout towards the top. I don't think it's right bottom or side, but could be wrong. So correct me if I'm wrong. Thanks, guys. Next, I'd like to check the transmission fluid. If it's an automatic transmission car, which I shouldn't say most vehicles, but if it is an automatic transmission car, typically located someplace back towards the firewall again. It's a dipstick, pull it out, check the fluids, and then see where they're at. This particular car, believe it or not, does not have a dipstick. It actually has a very small little reservoir that I will show you that's located down in the front part of the block. But if you do have one that has a dipstick on, I think the recommendation to do this is to actually start the vehicle up, run it through the gear selector, so of course with your foot on the brake, park, reverse, neutral, drive, drive one, drive two, and then back up through the gears again, just to kind of get the fluid to move in the transmission. Then come out, check your fluid. If you need to fill it, again, there's different types of transmission fluid. Check the owner's manual to make sure that you're using the correct transmission fluid. And you're going to definitely need a funnel in order to add transmission fluid to your transmission. Very tiny little hole. You're actually going down through the dipstick hole to top off that. But make sure that you check it just to be on the safe side. Okay, there's just a couple other things to check before we put the hood down. One, just do a visual inspection of everything under the car. You're not going to understand what all of these different cables and wires and where they all go and what they all do. But what you can do is do a visual inspection, kind of a common sense inspection. Take a look to make sure that you don't have anything that looks like it has worked itself loose, is dripping oil or dripping fluids or something else within the engine. Take a look underneath the car also to see if there's anything dripping. Battery, let's make sure that we got a hold down, secure hold down on our battery. This thing is like a bowling ball if it ever comes loose underneath your car. Again, you're doing hard left and right hand turns and acceleration and braking when you're on the track. So let's just make sure that everything under here is buttoned up and is nice and tidy and tight. Let's talk about fuel. Everybody knows how to put fuel in their vehicle. What I do want to talk to you about is to make sure that you have your tank full when you come to the track. Top it off before you get there. No need to go exotic on fuels. Use your everyday fuel that you use for your everyday driving. You don't have to go to a higher octane or racing gas or anything like that. It's not going to help anyway. What I do want you to keep track of though is your fuel gauge. When you're out on the track, that gauge is going to go down like that relatively quickly. We're not going to have that 20 or 25 miles to the gallon like you do out on the road when you're driving. Through hard acceleration, you're going to burn a lot more fuel. So keep an eye on that gas gauge. I don't want to have to send the truck out, put you on the hook, and get you back into the paddock. Okay, like I said at the beginning, nothing to this, easy peasy. Check fluids before you come to the track. Scratch it off your to-do list. Upcoming videos, we're going to talk about tires, brakes, engine, and suspension. I'm going to get some other instructors involved that are a whole lot smarter than I am on some of these items. So stay tuned. If you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe down below. Hit the like button. You'll get notified when we've got our next video coming out. And remember, when you're on the track, be safe, have fun, go fast.